Breaking news to begin our Sunrise Smart Start. Right now, police in Rochester investigating a shooting that injured a teen just after midnight on Avenue E. Officers say they also responded to Rochester General for the report of a walk-in gunshot victim. Police say that it appears the 16-year-old boy accidentally shot himself with a handgun, and he is expected to be okay. That gun, though, found where the incident occurred. Criminal charges are pending, and we will keep you updated. In further breaking news, a woman recovering in the hospital after she was reportedly assaulted. RPD tells us they were called to the area around Thurston Road for a fight, and they found there the woman in her 20s with significant injuries to her upper body. She was transported to the hospital, and there are no suspects yet to name or in custody. Think you know anything about either of these cases? Come forward and call 911. All right, we want to get straight to our weather, checking in with James Gilbert, because, hey, James, as much as these temps perfectly, 70s, I think perfectly fine.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
The skies have a bit of a caveat to go along with that.
That's right. Yeah, those skies are going to get angry as we get later this morning. Likely thunderstorms moving through. You look at the chance for rain, about 20% through 10 a.m., but right after that, those storms roll through. I'd say 10:30, 11 a.m. We've got showers and thunderstorms passing overhead. Those last to about 1 or 2 o'clock. Then we'll go generally isolated as we get through the rest of the afternoon. Biggest threat, I'd say, to you would be the wind out of the front edge of those storm systems. Maybe some small hail as well. And then, of course, lightning. Frequent lightning can cause some issues as well, maybe cause some outages. So keep an eye on the severe weather threat for today. We'll take a look at the 8-day forecast at the end of the show. Michaela?
All right. Thank you so much, James. We'll certainly keep an eye on that this Memorial Day. In other headlines, we just learned that a man shot on Murray Street around midnight Saturday is still in critical but now stable condition. RPD tells us the man in his 20s involved rushed to the hospital after they found him with multiple gunshot wounds. Investigators say they're still trying to find out what led up to this shooting. Stay with News 8 for developing updates. Also, a 24-year-old city resident shot on Joseph Avenue earlier in the weekend, also on the road to recovery. Officers tell us this happened at around 1:30 Saturday afternoon. He was taken to the by ambulance to the hospital, where he underwent emergency surgery. Police still trying to piece together what happened in the lead up to this as well. Now, if you think you know anything, call 911. We are still working to learn more about the man who was hit by a car and died while working inside of a manhole this weekend. Rochester police tells us that officers responded to a gas station on Lyle Avenue at around 1:30 Saturday morning for a man down. Officers say that they arrived on the scene and learned that a 51-year-old man had been working inside of a manhole in the parking lot when he was hit by a car. Police say that 51-year-old victim was obscured visually by the manhole and died after he was hit. The 45-year-old driver is cooperating with investigators. No charges yet filed here. However, again, we will be keeping an eye on this case, and the identity of the victim has not yet been revealed. Now, we're also keeping an eye on MCSO. The sheriff's office asks for your help finding this missing girl. Her name's Abigail West. Police tell us she left her group home around Smith Road and Empire Boulevard in the town of Penfield very early this morning. And take a look at your screen if you think you recognize her. She's 5'1". She's got brown hair and blue eyes. And if you think you know where she might have gone, please call 911. Last night, RIT's men's lacrosse was trying to be legendary. They were going for their third national title in just the last few years. Had to go back up against Tufts, which they lost to last year, if they were going to do it. Well, the RIT faithful, they all made the trip down to Philly, and there was a lot of support there. Third quarter, RIT down 2. Clifford Gaston, we showed it a little earlier in the clip there. He ripped it home, cut the deficit to 1. The shot clock did wind down with Luke Pilcher made an improbable angle shot, tying things up at 13. It did look good there for a while, but unfortunately RIT fell 18-14 to Tufts once again. But hey, they put on a great game. Well, just one day after making her WNBA debut, the Las Vegas Aces decided to cut ties with Deaisha Fair. This Rochester native was a second-round draft pick last month and just wrapped a historic career at Syracuse. The Edison Tech grad finished third all-time on the NCAA scoring list. Certainly some bad news there. We'll keep an eye on what might have happened in that case. Now, Memorial Day today brings with it some food, opportunities for gatherings with family and friends, and even some great shopping deals. But it also is an opportunity to thank the men and women who have laid down their lives for us to enjoy such freedoms. Aron Spitzer joining us live in the studio with a message from our local vets. Aron.
Yes, our local vets tell me they'd be thankful if during your day you stop and think about their brothers and sisters in arms who can't be with us. A bit of history. Originally held on May 30th and called Decoration Day, the holiday was initially meant for decorating the graves of those who died during the Civil War. That changed after World War I, and the holiday became official in 1971 and called Memorial Day. I spoke to veterans who served for a few years and those who served for decades, but they all shared the same sentiment on what's important.
Well, it's for people who saw beyond themselves, the ultimate sacrifice. They saw something more important than themselves, and they were willing to give their lives for it so that we can live the way we do here.
Memorial Day is to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. They never got to come home at all. Specifically have a special memory of my cousin who was killed in Iraq when he was only 21. So I generally remember because of him, try to keep him, and I usually carry on Memorial Day, I'll carry his photo around to remember him by.
These veterans say enjoy your festivities, just don't forget their sacrifices. Michaela?
All right, thank you very much, Iran. Now, speaking of honoring our veterans, here's a warm welcome to show you for some of our local heroes. The incredible group over at Honor Flight Rochester brought back dozens of vets from their Mission 83. This nonprofit takes veterans from several different war eras, and they all go on a special trip to Washington, D.C., visiting those national monuments built to honor their service and sacrifice.
It's in my blood, you know, because I was in the Air Force for so long, and now I'm in the actually Civil Air Patrol, which is the Air Force Auxiliary. And I am flying now. So I used to do counter-drug missions before it became legal. And, you know, the people I work with and the boys and girls, you know, like I said, you know, somebody's got to do it. You know, and then people say, why do you keep on doing it? You know, I said, those boys and girls are my future.
Well, the branches represented in this mission include Army, Navy, Marines, and the Air Force. Also, ahead of Memorial Day celebrations today, there is a travel reminder to keep in mind. The parade honoring our local veterans begins at the intersection of East Ave and Alexander Street today, going westbound to East Ave and Main Street. So expect this area to be closed to all traffic starting around 10:30 a.m. is when that parade kicks off. It'll all reopen around 1. And RTS riders who think your bus routes may be affected, you can go to myrts.com for more info, keeping you updated on that parade forecast as well. James.
Yes.
Maybe some umbrellas, ponchos, and alternative plans today, I think seems to be the message.
Yes, definitely keep an eye out to parade organizers maybe making decisions on that parade as these storm systems roll through. So do make preparations for that. There's a storm system that's swinging into New York State. That is what we will track as it eventually pushes into Buffalo. We will be able to follow it. It's not going to be those situations where the storms just randomly pop up. We'll be able to watch it as it works its way in. So I think everybody does get rain. Not everybody gets severe weather. That's just going to generally be in isolated spots, but still something to watch. And you can clearly see today is by far the warmest of the rest of the week.
All right. Well, you know, like you said, we're going to see it roll in.
Yes.
We're going to have time to get under cover.
Yeah, tracking it from the west. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching News 8 at Sunrise this Memorial Day, everybody. Stay tuned for your next update in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is next. Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.